Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I'm Paula from Moxy Mojo, and this is day 12 of Dephemerember 2023, your ephemera inspiration for December. Thank you for joining me for today's prompts. Feel free to craft along or sit back and enjoy watching my take on the prompts from Louisa and Barbara. So today's prompts, 12th of December, is Kintsugi Houses. Now, I first heard about Kintsugi a number of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and because I'm the type of person who has to know what it means, I looked it up and I was taken aback by the meaning behind Kintsugi. It's about celebrating the flaws in what might otherwise be considered a piece of rubbish or trash, something to be thrown out. I guess it's something that here in New Zealand we do to some extent, in that we've always kind of had what they call here a number 8 wire mentality, and that because we haven't always had products available to us, we've tended to cobble something together out of bits and pieces that we've found, and whether it be like lawn mowers or something in the kitchen, you find a way to make it work. And so the Kintsugi concept really did appeal to me in an emotional kind of way. Because of that, my take on this prompt has been very broad in terms of when I think of Kintsugi houses. And hopefully I'll be able to explain that as we go along. So the first thing you'll know is I've pulled out my golden So Flat matte acrylic paints. Now I've got 2 packs here. One is the pop pack, the other is the zing pack, and they each have 6 colours. So I've pulled some out of each of these that kind of meet my needs in terms of this prompt. So I've got 7 colours here. I've got the Naphthol Red Light, Cadmium Orange, Bismuth Vanadate Yellow, Permanent Green, Ultramarine Blue, Red Violet, Black. So yes, they're in a rainbow of colours because the Pride colours is very important to me, in that I have family members who are lesbian and gay, and I have friends who are also in the LGBTQ plus community, and having come up through dancing and theatre as well as the crafts, I've always had people around me from that community. So it's something I am very supportive of. That is kind of one reason why I'm using these colours. The other reason is, and it comes down to the way I'm doing this prompt, is I found this chipboard set. Now this is from Dusty Attic, and they're an Australian company, dustyatic.com.au, and this is Main Street DA0408, and it is a set of 8 houses, 3, 6 and 2 is 8, with various different window inserts that you can put in there. And so I'm looking at this prompt as being kind of like a village and representing both the art community that we're in, or the craft community if you want to call it that, the junk journal community, but also our community as a city and a country and a planet as a whole, and that we all need to work together to look after those who may be broken or not fully able. I think we need to look after each other and be supportive and inspirational to one another. So I'm going to dry my tears, blow my nose off camera, and then get into doing this prompt once I've got my emotions under control. Okay, so I wasn't expecting to get quite so emotional in my introduction. I guess it's because I suffer from anxiety myself. Just trying to tear. Are you going to tear out or are you going to be awkward? Okay, there we go. Because I suffer from anxiety myself, as well as having children who are part of the LGBTQT plus community, and also many friends who fit into the community, I have a very strong attitude to being supportive of other people and other groups and in people who are inspirational and who motivate and support others, either like themselves or not like themselves, but who are generally marginalised. So, yeah, this is a very important topic to me. Sometimes as artists and crafters, we can use our creations to share or spread political messages or messages of support that otherwise may not be as easy to share, particularly depending upon which countries it are that you live in or are born in or happen to reside in. It's not always as easy for some to share their messages of support, at least verbally or in ways that are very, what's the word I'm looking for? That are very obvious. So sometimes using our art and music and literature is the only way that we can show our support of other people. Right. Anyway, in getting off soapbox, we're here to create, and that's where we're coming from, and that's going to be our focus. So I've pulled out all my houses. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the window and door frames or not. At this stage, yeah, really just not sure. So I'm just going to, I'll put these all aside for now, because the other thing that I'm sort of quietly aware of is that not all the houses in the set have got windows or doors. Now, if you don't happen to have chipboard like this, because I don't expect that a lot of people have got it just sitting around at home, you can just cut house shapes. They don't have to have windows in them. They can just be box with a triangle on top, and that will, you know, more than suffice for this type of project. So now I'm going to keep this one aside, and we're just going to pick houses at random and paint them. So I'm going to start with the lightest colour first. Now I've got all these sticks because one thing that when I first used them was with these paints was that you've got to stir them very well. And so I've held on to my sticks from the first time I used them. Although I haven't got a set of sticks for the second box because I have not long acquired that. After I tried the first lot, I just fell in love with this paint, and just knew I had to get some more. So I did. So here we go. We are just going to scrape off as much of this paint as we can. And I'm probably just going to use this small brush. I don't think I need a bigger brush. And I'm going to set that up there. And I guess we're painting this one. Now I'm going to be very careful to try not to get the paint in the window and door holes. Because I just want to make sure it is on the flats, although there is of course all like the window frames, and like some of these have got what are they called, these thingies, crossbars. Can't even think of what they're called. So many distractions around here at the moment. I can hear someone has got a really loud sound system up, which makes me wonder if the local school have got like a disco on tonight, because there is a school very close to, sort of almost but not quite backs on, and then there's another two to our property, and then there's another couple of schools down our street, and then another one not far from that. So I mean, we can like generally constantly hear kids, like at lunchtime you can hear them out having their lunch and playing, and especially if it's sports days or there's like games on, you can really hear the kids, which is quite cool. Really doesn't worry me at all. But yeah, just I hadn't thought of it in terms of, okay, well I'm recording at the moment. Would you mind keeping it down a wee bit? And because the stereo is quite loud, it sounds like it's, you know, being put through a sound system. So yeah, It must be something like a disco or something like that. Right, so I've painted the yellow on the surface. Try not to do around the outsides, but I have got them in the window frame. I'm going to try and do like a couple of thin layers. Okay, so 7 of our little houses are painted now. They've had 2 coats each of the golden so flat matte acrylic paints, and I think they look absolutely gorgeous. I do need to go around the edges and just tidy them up, but that's me being pedantic and perfectionist. But at this stage I am not going to touch them. I want to leave them to dry a little bit longer. But we still have one little wee house that is unpainted and looking a little bit lonely. So what I'm going to do is I want this to look very different from the rest. So rather than leave it with a pointy roof, we are going to, if I go 3, we're going to 4, and 3, we're going to 4. So we are going to draw a line there, and now I am going to attempt to cut it. And I don't know if scissors is the right thing, but that's what we're using. Oh no, look at that. Straight through like butter. Apart from the fact that it's not exactly straight. And now I'm going to get it all wonky, trying to straighten it up. Right, is that straighter? Yep, that'll do. Right, so, thank you, Mr. Scissors. Thank you, Mr. Triangle. You are no longer required. But actually, I might hold on to you as a test piece, just in case. So now, for this bit, this is where the Kintsugi part is going to come in. Now, for this, I need sizing adhesive, and I need some gold gilding flakes. Now, I've put mine into a old Distress Collage medium container just because this is way easier to get out of than this. And I was going to use the flakes, but then I remembered that I had some gold leaf sheets. Now, these were my mother's, and when she passed away, all of her art stuff was left to me, being the other artist in the family. So this is kind of another one of those big emotional deals that's going into this particular prompt. The fact that I am using some of her art products to create something so meaningful. So what I'm going to do is put some size on here. Now it needs to be left to go tacky, and I'm just using a little wee paintbrush, which is probably too small for the job, but I don't want to use a big one, and I've used this one before for this particular task. So I'm just going to try painting on here first, and I want to put it all over the surface, and then I need to leave it until it gets tacky. At least I believe that's what the instructions say. I don't, leave it to air dry until surface feels tacky. So, to be honest, I'm not gonna wait for that. I'm gonna paint this one as well so that it can dry while at the same time, and I don't have twice as long waiting. Is this tacky? Yes, it's tacky. So that's still got a wee bit longer to do. Right, here goes. Now I'm going to, I don't know how, has it got sheets between it? I'm not sure, so we'll just have to gently pull it up. And alright, here we go. We're going to pull hopefully one sheet out, or that might be partly enough. And there's another bit, and together that should be enough. Right, now I'm just going to gently lift this over here. Now, this is a very delicate operation, and I've got sticky fingers, and I don't want sticky fingers for this. So, excuse the rapid finger cleaning. Just grabbing my tweezers. Now, I'm not sure. Probably this bit, I think. And we are going to drop that on there very carefully. And then press it down with a finger. And then hopefully we can pull the rest away, or at least some of the rest away. Right. Now, interesting, I can see the scissor marks on the side from where I cut it. Now, the leftover flakes I will put into here. Oh, it's quite a different gold, isn't it? This one's definitely smoother and flatter compared to that. And I'm trying to be as gentle as possible to leave these bits as large as possible for reusing. Right, so that's there. Now I'm going to pick this up and just kind of brush down the side with my thumb. And remove kind of the excess. Well, that was a big block. Alright, so I've pulled off kind of the big amounts, but there is still quite a bit on the side. Right, so here we go on this one. Now, which way are we going to go? I think we are going to go this way. I'm going to pull that little bit off there. Don't tear. And we're coming down from this side. And pressing it down. And off. Now I'm going to put that to one side, and now we're going to put this one bit on. No, don't fold up on me. That was not part of the agreement. And press and fold this slot down. And then we have this bit coming off, and we'll put you on that side there. Okay, so now we're pulling off all these little bits here and putting them in there. So now I do have a brush, one of these makeup brushes, that I have put aside for cleaning up. So we're on to our house proper. So if I shift it where you can see it, and we are now going to clean off all these windows and edges with our soft brush. And like some of these bigger bits I will put into my gold flake container. But a lot of these are really going to end up too small. But that's okay, we've got off most of the big bits. Alright, so we're there. Now we're going to sweep away all this lot. And all these little wee crumbs I actually just put into my container because they should be used, you know, can be used at some stage. Brushing off the sides. Clean any excess gold off my hands. Oh, doesn't that sound nice? Oh yes, I just had to clean all the gold off. It was just getting in my way, darling. Yeah, okay. In your dreams, Paula. In your dreams. That one there. That actually looks quite good, I think. And then that will leave me a big space for some kind of title or description. Yep, I think that's the way to go. But before we do that, we have to colour the edges. In order to do that, I'm just pulling up some black pens. So I'm going to try my Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen in black. So now this is B, so this is a brush tip. So let me just try on the black one first, actually, and I'll try on the gold as well to make sure that that works. And we're just wanting to just do all of these edges. Exactly the same as what I would do if I was edging in ink, only because we've got paint. Now I'm probably not going to fit my pen in there, so I'm not even going to attempt. Okay, so I'm just doing the edges. Yeah, so you can see this bit's still brown, this bit up here is black, so that's what I'm doing. I'll be back. Okay, after quite a bit of experimentation, I've worked out where I want to put everything. So I've got my gold house being surrounded by the other houses in the village, and the top of the house that was just my practice piece I have decided is going to be the V of village. So now I just need to do my title, and I've tried stamping and just nothing seems to have looked right. So I guess I'm gonna handwrite it. So I've got everything placed there for how it's gonna look. I just want to slip this page under there to catch some embossing powder when I brush it off. So I'm going to use my Emboss It pen from Ranger in the colour black. You've seen me use this before, but here goes my handwriting as it normally looks. And once this is done, I cannot undo it, so here goes. So we are going to do right, so that's everything in there. Sorry I couldn't talk while I was writing. So we'll take all these off, put them to one side, put these to one side, take off our V. Now we're going to be using black embossing powder, hence the black pen. Surprise, surprise, and let's hope I don't get it absolutely everywhere. That's one lot, and village. With my little flourish on the end. That was a spur of the moment thing. Right, that should be more than enough. Okay, right, now, so we're going to try and tip this up this way. And I've got the pages that I was using to protect the page all coming out. And now we need to try to I've got to talk about awkward. There we go, all done. So now it is time to put our takes a village. We had red, orange, green and yellow. And we had gold, blue, black and purple. So now I'm just going to stick these all into place with glitter glue, and then I will need to leave it sitting, I think, overnight, just for everything to stick into place properly. So let's shift it up there so you can see. Now hopefully we don't get glue all over the place. Like that. Should have known. And just clean up on aisle 13, or aisle 6 I should say. Clean up on aisle 6 sounds better. Right, there we go. So now we're going to put these all around. I know that this is probably not going to be everyone's cup of tea, whether it be the colours or the style or the simplicity of it, or even the meaning behind it. And you know what, that's perfectly okay. This particular one had special meaning for me, and that's why it's ended up the way that it has. And I highly recommend that you, particularly where you're creating a journal for yourself and not one that you are giving away or selling, but one that you are going to keep and use and enjoy for yourself, then I definitely recommend that you put in things that are meaningful to you. Just because I don't trust myself, I'm going to put some plastic in here. And for that we have a trusty supply of plastic bags at the ready. Is that one going to be big enough? Yeah, look at that. And it is just going to sit there overnight while this glue dries. Actually, I'm going to do it that way, and I'm going to flop it over because it's at the front of the book, there's more weight in behind. I'm not going to say what the first thing that came into my mind. So I will take a picture of that in the morning once it is all well and truly stuck in place, and I will add it to the back of the video. So I hope you've enjoyed it, apart from me sobbing at the beginning and bawling my way through my explanation, which I have to say I relayed to my husband when we went to go get some dinner, and he sat there cackling that he thought he married a tough woman, a hard woman from the south, and not some blubberer, to which I almost told him to get out of the car and walk. But anyway, it is because it's an emotional thing for me, and it has a lot of meaning behind it, and it is important to me. And I think that we should journal about the things that are important and that have meaning and that are special to us. So I hope you do that. Even if you don't do anything at all like what I've done, I hope you take the challenge to journal about something that's important to you, or something that's meaningful, or that stirs your emotions, and you take a risk to step out of whatever comfortable box you're in and do something like that. So I will see you again next time in the studio. Bye for now.